Mesha is your essential companion for learning any language using the Growing Participator Approach, or GPA. Mesha gives you the tools you need to record and review everything from your sessions with your nurturer. To record your GPA sessions, you will create collections of items. These are collections and these are items. To make a collection, tap the plus button on the bottom left of the initial screen. You can give the new collection a name, for example, furniture. Now you can add images to the collection. One way to do this is to take photos of all the items, or copy from another app such as Safari, or you can draw sketches or copy them from your photo library on your device, or by adding them through iTunes file sharing on your computer. Or you can add items with just plain text. To record the audio for these items, open this collection in slideshow mode by tapping on an item or by pressing the slideshow mode button. A key feature of Mesha is that it has two recording buttons, the short recording button and the long recording button. Use the short recording button for single words or phrases, and use the long recording button for full sentences, such as for stories, explanations, and examples. For basic vocab items, tap the short recording button on the left-hand side. Your nurturer can say this word or phrase aloud 2 or 3 times, and then you slide to the next item and the next recording will start automatically.
Couch, couch, couch. Coffee table, coffee table, coffee table. Bookcase, bookcase, bookcase. Chair, chair, chair.
When you've finished, press the short recording button again to stop the audio recording. If you have plain text items without pictures, firstly record all the words for the items using the short recording button as before.
Siren, siren, siren. Pulled over, pulled over, pulled over. Speeding ticket, speeding ticket, speeding ticket.
Then you will also want to do a long recording with an explanation of the meaning of the words and perhaps some examples.
Siren, a sound made to get your attention. For example, the police car turned on his siren so that I would stop. The ambulance's siren was going off so that cars would move out of the way. Pulled over.
If the items are telling a story, such as when you are using lexicary or wordless picture books, and your nurturer is explaining the items in complete sentences, then you should choose the long recording button instead, on the right-hand side.
Hi Suzanne, I'd like to introduce you to my friend David. David, this is my friend Suzanne. Hi David. Hi Suzanne, nice to meet you.
You may wish to record just one long story to begin your collection. If so, when making the collection, tap the long recording button in the audio section and your nurturer can start speaking.
This morning I caught the bus. It was raining, so I had to stand in the rain for a few hours. Well, a few
You can
minutes.
tap the embed button as you are
Finally got
listening to
into
create
the
new
bus.
items at that point in the story if you are uncertain of what a
All the
particular
seats were
word is.
taken, so I had to
Then you can review
stand
these
the
embedded
whole
items
bus
with your
journey.
nurturer in slideshow mode. These embedded words are added to the same collection as the story audio, and they're also viewable in the waveform of the slide for that audio. Just tap to edit them. You can move to the next embedded item with the arrow button. Then you can do short and long recordings in slideshow mode as normal. In slideshow mode, you can listen to the story by tapping on the item, and then you can pause the audio by tapping again. While it's paused, you can scrub backwards or forwards in time with 2 fingers, and you can zoom into the waveform by pinching. You can also embed new words directly here in slideshow mode. These two recording buttons mean that there are two types of items in Mesha: vocab items and story items. The story items just have a long recording. Vocab items need to have a short recording, but you can also have an optional long recording for examples and explanations. You review these two types of items in two different ways, in vocab review mode and story review mode. To review vocab items, tap the vocab review button at the bottom right of the home screen. This mode uses spaced repetition to show you the items that you need to study next. Your memory works in that each time you are reminded of the meaning of a word, your brain can remember it for a longer time. Vocab review mode will introduce you to your new vocab words in Mesha, and then test you on them again and again at intervals that keep getting longer the better that you know them. First, vocab review mode will test you on the words that are due for review now, or your stale words. These are words that you've previously seen but are now ready for you to be reminded of them again. You can see the number of stale items due for review next to the exclamation mark icon. The items that you've previously seen but do not need to be reviewed yet are your fresh items, and the number of them is next to the tick icon. Swipe right or tap the tick button if you're confident that you know the meaning, and that item will go into a higher box. Items in that box will stay fresh for a longer time. Later, when the item needs to be reviewed, it will turn stale and you'll be reminded of it again. If you don't know the meaning or you just want to check, swipe left or tap the cross button to see the meaning. Normally, items that you get wrong go back to box 1, so that you'll be able to review it several times quickly to learn it better. If you're sure that you got the item right, you can tap the box button to mark it as correct and put it in one box higher than it already was. Or you can press and hold the box button to manually pick which box you want it in and when you want to review the word next. Once all your stale items that need to be reviewed are finished, vocab review mode will next introduce you to new vocab items in Mesha. This will show you the text for the item or the picture, and play the short recording for the sound of the item, and also the long recording for the explanation and examples, if it's there. Once you understand the meaning, swipe right to put it into your system. This word will keep reappearing at the right times to help you learn it. The number of unseen items that still need to be introduced to you is next to the eye icon. Each time you answer a word correctly, it adds to your progress counter. You can keep track of how many progressions you've made today with the number next to the calendar icon. You might wish to set a goal of making 50 or 100 or even 200 progressions a day. It's up to how much time you have to study. Double tap on the statistics at the bottom to see a graph of your progress. To review story items, or items with only a long recording, open up Story Review Mode with the icon that looks like a storybook. It will display for you the story that you next need to listen to. After you've finished listening, swipe right or tap the check. It will save your position in the story if you close the window before it is finished. Like in vocab review mode, double tap the statistics at the bottom to see graphs of your progress. That's the basics of how to use Mesha. Please check out the other tutorials to understand more of the basic principles behind GPA, and also how you can use Mesha for the recommended 6-phase program for GPA. If you have any questions, please email me at rob@mesha.tk. Thanks, I hope you enjoy it and find it helpful.